In this exposition, I'm going to be showing you how I was able to make this YouTube Go using React Native. I used the Expo CLI to get most of the functionalities. This source folder is where most of the magic happens. In this source folder, we have the component, navigations, we have the screen, and static files. Since we just have one screen here, I put it inside of a folder known as video play. The first element is the playhead, and that is what you are seeing here. So the playhead is responsible for that. Then if I scroll, you discover that the playhead stays where it is, just like the YouTube Go app. Inside of the scroll view, we have the video details, which is this part right here. So the video details contains the name, the YouTube Go featuring Big Bug Bunny, and we have this icon right here, and we have the views and the data size. Next we have the share download, which is just these two buttons. I can be able to click it and it reacts according to what I have coded to it. Then the next part we have is the auto call to action. Auto call to action is taking three pops, which is the bio info, cover, image, and subscription. Then the next is the video description itself, which is under here. I'll get to that in a minute. Next we have the more header, which is this part right here, just like the YouTube one. So let's quickly go into the playhead and see how that works. Inside of the playhead, what I did was I was able to set a specific height. I made a guess to be 200 and a width of 100%. And in my video element, I had to use a flex of 1 so that I could fill the entire space. I set my URL to the video. So in the video details, I received a prop. Using the ES6 syntax, I was able to pass that as an object. I created a view which will hold two child components, and I had to use a flex direction of column. The next, I created a view to house this using the flex direction of row and a style of justify content with space between so that they could be spread apart. Since they're just two elements, they could just pass and give space in the center. So I used a touch opacity to house both the text and the font. I use font accent. So this is the syntax. I had to set name, size, color, and all that. I used an align item of flex end to push this component all the way to the end of that view. With Redux, I was able to configure a global state which could either be true or false. And if this is true, this icon right here will be inverted to a character up. If it is false, it is going to be a character down. So at this point, when I press the button, it changes and responds appropriately. Then the next is the amount of views, which is inside of that object, and then this was hard coded. The next part is the share and download. The share and download is pretty easy. All I had to do was make sure that I use the flex direction of row and justify content space within, just like this. Then I used the touch opacity, and the touch opacity had a styling, a flex direction for row. Then I placed the icon, which is this, and the text itself. Same thing applies to the download as well. Initially, there's a state management that when you click the button, it responds appropriately. I'm supposed to put an intent for this so that it could get some kind of link to be shared to other applications. Next up is the auto call to action. The auto call to action takes three pops, which is the bio info, cover image, subscribe state. In the auto call to action, I wrap this entire element inside of a view with a border top width and a border bottom width of 1. The border color is light gray, and which is giving this nice effect. Then inside of that view, I have a view that houses this entire element. Basically, I had a flex direction of row and a justify content of space between. This right here is having a flex direction of row, which is having just two, the image, and this is also a view. In this view, the style is of a flex direction of column, which is just having the name and the subscriber count. For the subscription parts, we have all of this inside a touch opacity with a flex direction of a row. This is a font awesome icon, which is of a YouTube play. Then the text, which is the subscribe, it is set to text transform uppercase. When this button is clicked, this text color changes to gray, and when it is not subscribed, which is when it's not subscribed, it goes back to red. Video description takes one overall view, and the first view contains a text, an icon, and another text to display the name and this cute sign. And the second component is a text which will display the details of the video. This entire video description is determined by this touch opacity button that sends a true or false flag to Redux, and which is able to make this either show or hide. Next up is the more header. The more header is housed in a parent view with a row. Justify content is spaced between. So this element could be spaced evenly. On one side is the text, and the other is having a view holding the text, autoplay, and a switch which, if clicked, could come up with this beautiful style. Next up is the video recommendation. All of this is just repeated because I just had to copy paste. But in the real app, you just need to have several links to videos prepared by the recommendation algorithm for the viewer, and you will not have this. I had to set a width of 100% so that it don't look ugly when it's on landscape, and some of this here. Then we have this variable passed in as a prop, which is last. It's just gonna give an extra space at the bottom. And the real app, it's not there, but I got that inspiration from the WhatsApp application and I had to add it. All of this is wrapped inside a view, and it has a flex direction of row. Justified content is spaced between. So this is a view, and this button is a touch opacity. Next up is the image. I set a width of 140 with a height of 90, and I used image background, setting it to 100% so that it could fill that space. We have a source, which is this image we have here. So next up is this text. In the styling, I had to set the position to absolute and the bottom and right, which is 0. Then I had to create a padding of left to give me this space here, and a padding of right to also give me the space here. Then we have the time, which is hard coded inside. Next up is the text. I had to set a max width with an algorithm of the width of the screen divided by 2, so it would not look ugly on smaller devices. For the title of the video and the author, as well as the views and the days, I had to create a view and styled all of this child element to have a flex direction of a row so that I could be able to place this. I had to put this into a touch opacity as well, with a font awesome icon of ellipsis vertical. Set the color to black and the size to 20. So there you have it, my YouTube Go app. If you like this kind of videos, please do subscribe, and if you want to see me turn this into a full-fledged enterprise app by building the back end where you can be able to upload videos, and also create a linear regression algorithm where we could have videos recommended to the user, please let me know in the comment section so I could make that prepped for you. Thank you so much for your time. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.